Since Historic England began this series of films over 2 years ago, our focus has been not just about capturing people's memories of Bootham Crescent, but also how to shape and drive the redevelopment of the site to best reflect those memories and create a new and distinctive place with real character. As we begin 2021, with York City having played its last game at Bootham Crescent, this seventh film describes the legacy plans to memorialise the stadium within the proposed housing scheme. After consultation with the club, fans, residents, local politicians and the planning authority, it became clear that there was a strong desire for retaining a tangible part of the stadium, somewhere people could focus their memories, somewhere they could orientate themselves after the stadium had gone, and somewhere they could continue to pay their respects. The challenge to create this lasting legacy and focal point for memory and orientation demanded us to think sensitively and imaginatively, and to improve on earlier redevelopments of other football grounds by doing far more than simply naming streets after famous players or laying a plaque on the centre spot. Working with the club and the developers Persimmon Homes, the legacy plans are now in the process of being designed. The main feature will be the retention of a short section of the popular stand terrace and the tunnel beneath. A unique survival, the tunnel once permitted rival fans to switch ends at half-time. It was also used as an air raid shelter during World War II, which adds to it a further layer of meaning and significance. The tunnel has been disused for some time, but still bears witness to the friendly rivalry between York City and Bradford Park Avenue.
In that era, it was unfortunate, you used to get quite a few incidents where fans got involved with each other, let's say. I was always one that was on the periphery, I was never involved. So as we were changing ends in the tunnel at that particular point, as out the Bradford fans were going towards one end and the York fans were coming towards the other, there was a big clash in the middle. I can remember seeing a good few punches being thrown, but I was at the back of it. But the next thing I heard was this big scream and laughter from all around. And a chap came absolutely running past me, a big chap, massive chap. And we looked down and he was completely bald. And one of our fans was holding a toupee up and shouting, "Look what I've got, look what I've got." Scalped.
The only time I've ever had any problem at a football game is, well, maybe that season or season after, some away fan, couldn't tell you who it was, thumped me in the stomach, nipped my scarf, and I just burst into tears. So that's another memory from the tunnel at Bootham Crescent.
The retained section of the popular stand will be as close to the halfway line as possible. The roof and some seats will be removed, the sides underbuilt, the terrace perimeter secured with metal fencing, and the tunnel ends gated, all using reclaimed material from the stand. The terrace will be flanked by a memorial garden, bordered by part of the wooden picket fence from in front of the stand. The garden will provide a home for existing memorials, caskets and ashes, subject to families' wishes, and possible future interments. The marking out of the centre circle within the planned public open space will align with the section of terrace and provide a further place for orientation. How the circle is marked is still to be decided, though we might draw inspiration from these examples. As John Lacey reminds us, a unique tradition at the ground was the lowering of the club flag to signal that there were 5 minutes to go before the end of a match.
Flag was in the, looking at the pitch from the pop stand, it was more or less in the corner at the Grosvenor Road end. And it was the York City flag, special flag, club flag, and it came down 5 minutes before the end of the game.
As part of the legacy plans, a new flagpole will be erected, flying a replica of the 5-minute flag, as a permanent and symbolic reminder of fans' allegiance to Bootham Crescent. Finally, the brick boundary wall around the site, which was originally in place for the pre-existing cricket ground, will be preserved and consolidated, but where concrete blockwork has been added to its summit, this will be removed. The face of the west boundary wall, either side of the retained terrace, could be used to support old signage from the stadium, or potentially new artwork. Football grounds convey intense senses of identity and belonging, with the power to stir hearts and minds and evoke strong and enduring social responses. This is especially true when clubs like York City are relocated and the fan base is dislocated. It is really important, therefore, to acknowledge the emotional attachment and special affection people have for Bootham Crescent. Hopefully, there is now the opportunity to create a housing development which has both popular appeal to York City's fans as well as potential homeowners.